Hello, 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 hello. Check, check, 1, 2. Hey guys. I believe I'm live. Welcome to another live session for the Daily 5. I'll be painting some curly hair today, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, I'll wait just a few seconds. If you are on Instagram, I want to say hi to you. Mia's Lover, Opus Goat, Core Ganan, Arya Win and Sun. These names are hard to read. Hi guys, welcome. Same thing for Sharon Kappen and Natalux on YouTube. I'm streaming on both places, yes. Someone help me to do that because I'm terrible with tech. But we are doing it. So hi to you all, guys. If you are new, these are the live sessions that I do every week for the challenge, the Daily 5 challenge. You can participate, get the brush for free, get better by doing just a little bit of work every day. You can join the tribe. There is a link in the bio or in the description, or if you are in YouTube, the link will pop up at some point in the chat because we made an automation for that. Again, I had some help for that. Hi to Cobos Monty from Mexico. Mia's Lover, do you live on Twitch too? I do not. Sorry to say, YouTube is enough struggle to have to another platform. I want to say hi to Bax on YouTube. Hey, looking forward for this weekend lessons. Yes, I'm super excited too. Portrait workshop starting on Saturday and Sunday. The time will be different than these lives. Just a friendly reminder. I'll be live on Saturday and Sunday at, I want to say, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Yes, I think so. Yes. So yeah. Hi to everybody. Much love to everybody on the American continent. I know it's late for you guys. I always appreciate for you guys to show up. I'll be doing some painting. So yeah, looking forward to do some painting. It seems like the chat on the screen isn't working. I'll see if I can fix that, but if it doesn't, then I'll just remove the black square. If you guys give me a minute, I'll ask Ray to help me with this. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, Sharon, what will it be on your time? On my time is going to be 8 p.m. I'm doing this at 8 p.m. So right after I put my son to bed for his night routine. Yeah, these are a little bit later for me to catch everybody. Cabos Monty, you should be on Twitch. There are a few artists teaching just their work. Yeah, I know Twitch has a really nice community. You're not the first one to tell me. I guess it's funny to say, I think I'm just too old school, or just it feels overwhelming to change sometimes. But it doesn't mean I won't at some point. But for now, I'm very cozy on YouTube. I got everything set up here. So yeah, I will make the best of it for now. So yeah, I am going to remove the chat box. Yeah, for now, since the chat is on screen on YouTube. That being said, all right, you guys want to paint with me, by all means, please do. I did this week. I really like it. I like the style of it. I especially like the way everything is like in bold shapes. I'm gonna try to do the same today, but with one of those two ladies. If you're on Instagram, I'm speaking of those two ladies. Those are the reference I'm going to use. And right before the live, I was doing some warm-up sketches. This one is Rainbow, and this one is Van Damme. I just thought their haircut at the time were hilarious, so I wanted to try. Sharon, indeed you are right. Then it's going to be 9 a.m. EST, so it will be and for both Saturday and Sunday. Yes, both days, 9 a.m. Eastern time for the workshop. And the workshop will be a lot more structured than the daily 5. I'm be teaching, giving a bunch of tips, a bunch of tricks. So be sure to be there. If you have any question, you'll be able to ask them if you're live with me. I made sure that it was a different time to try to catch as many people as possible, because I know these sessions that I'm doing right now are hard to catch for everyone. But this is the best time for me. Where the workshop, I really want to make sure that everybody can participate. So I'll change the time. So yeah. While you're with me, can you let me know which one should I do? I like both of them. But I'm open to suggestion. So can you put in the chat wherever you are on Instagram or YouTube, black or red? Black will be her and red obviously will be her. And yeah, I'll do one or the other. I'll focus mostly on the hair. I got one black. I guess the right is the red. Red head. 2 red for 1 black. Anyone on Instagram cares to vote? Let me know. So far, red is winning. Here, I'll put them back on screen for you guys. Black or red? Alright. Another black there. Let's see. There's always a little delay. So far, I think it's going to be red. Hey Dan, thanks for joining. I don't see much action. Oh, there it is. It's because I didn't scroll down. Sorry. Any chance the live would be saved, Mr. Positivist? Yes, they will stay on. I don't know if they're going to stay forever, but they'll stay at least for the weekend. It is 10 already. Yeah, I know it's late over you. You understand Twitch, lol. But the audience there is huge. Yeah, I know, huge on Twitch. Like I said, maybe one day. Sound tired. TTV, hope you're doing great. Sound tired. I'm just very relaxed. These sessions are kind of like the equivalent of my morning coffee. Cause yeah, it's 9 a.m. here. I'm just grooving, relaxing, about to sketch a little bit. A few voted red. So I think we're gonna go with red. Before that, Muncie, I switched to YouTube because Instagram you only can see the full screen. Yeah, sorry. It's true. So usually I put like a little image so you guys have something to watch. Otherwise, it's just a white screen. But I'm about to start, so let's get cracking, shall we? There you go. So redhead. So yeah, if you want to chat with me, let me know. Will you be live with me during the workshop? Because I would love to have you live. I've been enjoying doing these portraits for the past few weeks, with just starting with a lot of shapes. It's just fun to start. It kind of like makes it feel less doubting. You're just putting some circles, some squares, some triangle. Kind of like that. Silvana from Uruguay. Hi to you. Thanks for joining. Chiniye, I'll be on Saturday. Not sure of Sunday though. That sounds good. Saturday we'll have a lot of good tips about sketching, and then we'll have coloring the day afterwards. You'll be able to catch the replay. All right. Maybe I should put the reference for you guys on Instagram, because you don't see anything. Here, I'm trying to paint this. Put them close by each other. Good morning to you too, Rahul. On Instagram. I always call if it's on Instagram, on YouTube, so people know why I'm actually talking to people, not just to myself. So yeah. All right. Oh, Jesus. Put that on the wrong layer. Silvana, wait. You catch up with the chat. And Bax, what time is it in your country? Here it's 10 p.m. It's 9 a.m. for me. 9 a.m. and Silvana, I'm using Photoshop. We're having actually a conversation on Instagram this week. One of the posts that I posted about what's the softwares people are using. A lot of you guys are using Clip Studio Paint, which I think is a very good option. Krita, another great free option. I'm using Photoshop, like I was saying, not because I particularly like what they're doing these days with AI, because that sucks, but because I was a graphic designer before, and when I started to do digital art, it was just an easy start because of it. I didn't have to struggle too long because I knew the software so well. And today I'm concentrated on like my art, and so I don't really have the incentive of starting to learn a new software. You know, when you're just ready to get started, you want to sit down, do your art. You don't want to have to like struggle learning things that you already know, like where's the brush and where's this and where's that. Although I'm pretty sure I would be like decent with Tube Studio. It would just be a little learning curve. What software are you using, Daniel? I'm using Photoshop. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Using Photoshop with a Huion tablet. I've been in love with my tablet. I'll remove the... Oh, I'll keep it there for now. Yeah, I've been in love with my tablet since the day I received it. Like, I knew drawing on a big tablet would make a difference. I just didn't know how much a difference it would make. I don't think there's gonna be a comeback for me. I'll be painting on a huge tablet for the rest of my career. I also like you know, medium tablets such as an iPad or whatever, but having a giant tablet feels, I don't know, feels so good. What do you think about Huion? Is it a display or a tablet? It's a display. I'm painting on a Canvas 24-inch Pro 4K. It's not even the most recent tablet. Like, they have new ones now that are touchscreen. This one is not touched. But I still really appreciate just the big size of it all. And to be honest, there's always a conversation online about, is Wacom better than Huion and blah blah blah, and the parallax. There's even someone on one of my YouTube videos, as I was talking about the change that I did between my big Canvas Pro that I have here and my small Huion Wacom tablet, that I was just sharing, like, kind of like the feel of the change and how big of a change it was to change from one to another. And that particular person was kind of enraged that I was not talking about the tech. And the reason I was not talking about the tech is because the tech is not important, period. And I stand by it. It doesn't matter if you have a big Huion, a big Wacom, if you have a small one, if you have one on your desk, it's not gonna make you a better artist. And whatever tool you're going to use, you'll figure out a way to create your own workflow with it, and eventually you'll be able to be painting at whatever level you're at with that particular tablet. You'll adapt no matter what it is. If it's a quote-unquote better tablet, then good. If it's not, then whatever. It won't change what you're doing. Between you and me, if I had to invest today, if I was to start today, if I had the budget for a big tablet, I would invest, you know, let's say a big tablet is anything between $1,000 and $3,000. I would invest $300 on a good desktop tablet, and the rest would go in teaching. I would find some great classes, and believe me, in a year from now, you'll be a much better artist with your small tablet than you are if you had put that money on a big toy. Now, I'm not gonna say that sounds exciting necessarily, even though, like, yes, technically you buy yourself a tablet because you want to make illustration and be good and whatever. It's always fun to have new toys. I understand. I'm also a quote-unquote sucker for technology. I love new technology, and especially what's like the tools that I'm using for my day-to-day work and whatnot. But surely when it comes to like painting, you're much better investing in yourself, investing into learnings, than putting a tablet that is super expensive. Let's change that. So yeah, let me know if you agree with me. or not. And yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask everybody if you would like to have a segment of these weekly lives where I do paint over of your work. You could post your work in the tribe community. That's the community that we have at Paintable, and maybe a special kind of channel. Probably just for like the daily fives. So it could be, you post your work in there and you allow me to basically give you feedback and paint overs. Is that something that you would be interested in? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. And if it is, entertaining the idea of doing that in the near future. As a way to help you guys even more with these sessions. All right, let's make that bigger. Danielle says, yeah, I got one, yeah. Ryan, howdy to you. I got one big yes from Asokatano. So yeah. Chinue say, yes, I recently came across another artist that does that, and I was going to ask you on Discord. Well, yes, definitely, says Raul. All right, well, then be sure to be in the tribe if you're not already. I will pass the idea. Good night to you then. I will pass the idea and I'll create a channel within the next few weeks dedicated to this with some more info. I'll probably send an email about it. That will have to go next month, but it will come. All right. I think I could get started with what I have here. It's not perfect, but I think it's still going to do. Could add maybe her necklace. In there. But that's it. All right. Let's get cracking with some color. I think the background will be some sort of yellow. I might put this, whoops. I might put this smaller. Center that a little bit more. By the way, is there any of you guys that are a fan of Beetlejuice? I learned recently that there's another Beetlejuice coming in. I'm quite interested. It was definitely a movie that marked my childhood. I used to have actually, I remember I had the toys. I had a Beetlejuice toy with a Ninja Turtle, some G.I. Joes. Melting pot of different franchise. Yeah, I was listening to a super cool not vlog, it was a podcast on the 99 Invisible Design podcast that was talking about the era of the toys, which to memory was like 90s, I guess. All these big franchises, and they were talking about how the Transformers toys come into the market, and it was super interesting. Super interesting. Hey, Sek, loves drawings. Welcome back. Morning from Chiang Mai. Silvana, yes, love little Jews, and Tim too, yeah. She also watched Inside Out. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I think I had a look at Inside Out as well. I think there was a new one, right? Just don't have the time to go to the movie theaters these days. But eventually I will. All right, I'm very slow here, but eventually I'm going to attack that hair. Sake, what Wacom or XP pen do you have now? Neither. It's a Huion that I'm playing with right now. It's a Huion Canvas Pro 24K. Yeah. I really like the product that Huions are doing. And I know they have new tablets with like touchscreen and everything. Eventually, I think I'll love to upgrade. But right now, I just really love the one that I have. Question from Sharon, YouTube. Can you tell us, please, what brush are you using now for the basic? Yes, this is the hard edge brush that you can find in the 85 kit, which is in the description. If you're on YouTube, also I set some automation during the live, not after the live. I saw a few of you guys putting the comments after the video or after the live on the recording. If you put that in the comments, it doesn't work. But if you are live with me on YouTube, you can comment exclamation point D5C. That stands for D5 challenge. D5C. Exclamation mark D5C, I believe. I would have to check that again, but I believe it's that. You know what? Let me just double check. I don't want to tell you guys information that's not correct. Sorry, that's not D5C. Sorry, it's exclamation point D5 or exclamation point daily 5. Those will give you the brushes for that I'm using right now. But otherwise, there's a link also in the description. Lucia, do you usually draw in Photoshop or another one? I'm usually doing Photoshop. It's just it's the software that I've been learning as a graphic designer to use, and it's just feels like home. Fortunately, maybe one day I'll try to learn another one, but for now it will have to do. You want the portrait reference. Unfortunately, I don't have a link for you. The best I can do for you, Zach, is if you come to YouTube, you can take a screenshot. I'll push it a little bit on the side here for a few minutes. So if you come to YouTube, you'll be able to take a screenshot and you'll be able to paint the same. Is the hard round brush dynamic? Yes, it is. There's a little bit of dynamic shape on it. It goes from small to big with transparency. That's how I set it up. So yeah. All right, let's try to push the portrait a little bit more. I'm going to, I'm going to add shapes for the eyes. And for the lips, I think. You got it, Sec? All right. I'll move that back a little bit. So, what do we have here? I got all my different shapes, except for the necklace. Let's do the necklace too. Little gray ball for now will do. And, oh, I need also, I'm gonna put that on its own layer. And on the eyes, I'm going to add same color of the hair, I think. A little darker. All right. Let's add some hue and variation to this. I usually like to start with like a hard edge for the nose. It helps with adding some shape design to the entire portrait. Lucia, sorry, how do you use the blender brush? If you talk about the smudge tool and mixer brush tool, I'll be able to show you that later on when I'm doing the hair, if you want to stay around. And if you come to the portrait workshop that starts on Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday, you'll have a lot more example of that. All right, some hue and saturation. I think that's pretty good for the changes in hue and saturation. Maybe the hair could be just darker to get started with. It's always better to start from dark to pale when you're doing hair. So I'll do that. I'll be adding the colors afterwards. And I might color my lines so they don't make the whole illustration look muddy. Things like cheekbones, maybe around the mouth too. This one, you want to keep some darker, like this one right here. It's going to help the delimitation of the face. Yeah, I think that's good for now. I think I'm going to start painting on top of my lines. If I have visited the Monk studio in Chiang Mai, I haven't yet. I mean, like, studio now. I visited a lot of monastery. There's Doi Suthep, which is I think it's the same name of the mountain, but there's a monastery there as well. Lou, oh god, it was not the intention to make spam. I'm just arriving. Yeah, I guess no problem, Lou. It's an animation studio in Chiang Mai, also in Bangkok. Huh, that's super interesting. The Monk Studio it's called, huh? I'll have to look at it. I'll definitely have to look at it. Thanks for the info. Okay, where am I? Let's try to concentrate for a minute. You know what, before I do it on top of the lines, I'm going to add a little bit of shadow on this whole thing. She's got a very soft light. There's not a lot of hard shadow, which always make things a little bit more difficult. We're going to have to rely on my knowledge of anatomy. And I'm going to just kind of round up the shapes a little bit. Something like that. I'll be able to also add, whoops, where am I? New layer. I'll add just a little bit of shadow under the eyes. Even though I don't see much on the reference picture, you can always assume that it's kind of darker a little bit in this area. So yeah. Keeping things bright for now. I feel like all of this, not that. Got confused in my layers. I'll bring those here. Whoops, not this one. All right, now we have a bunch of different values and colors. I'll be able to start adding on top of the lines. how to build confidence as a newbie in painting. Classes. Always classes. Like I was saying, if you have a budget for a tablet, like a big budget, spend some of that on classes. The idea is to, learn from others. There are ways to get better faster. You just need to find the right classes. The good news is you got so many great references, not great classes to choose from today. When I started, there was not so many, but today you have so many different. I have a bunch, free and premium, that you can choose from. I'm actually going to have a flash sale over the weekend for celebrating the portrait workshop. It's going to be my portrait artist bundle. We're going to have it at 75% off. If you want to start there, it's a pretty good bundle. There's almost $1,000 worth of material, and it's at 75% off. My way to help the community. So if you want more info about it, I'll be sending an email tomorrow to invite people to the workshop and to announce it as well. All right, let's paint on top of those lines, shall we? And let's start adding some more details. So I'm gonna make sure that I got some of the rendering of the face that it's done, so we can start doing what we're supposed to do today, which is hair. And I'm there just rendering the portrait so slowly. But I promise you, we'll get to hair. Yeah, for whoever was talking about smudge tool and stuff, this is how I like to use it. This is a smudge tool that I created that you can get in the pack of the Daily 5. And I use it and I just kind of brush over, and it softens some of the edges. When you use it though, you run the risk to soften too much certain edges, so you need to kind of find a middle point between the two. But yeah. You know what I'll try to do? I'll try to have that on a new layer, because I want to get inspired from the way I did the colors on this one. The right classes here, guys. Thanks, Sake. Appreciate that. But believe me, there's going to be a lot more structure on over the weekend. Although you can definitely learn from these sessions. That's very true. All right. Taking my sweet time. So here's the thing that I tend to do, unfortunately, from time to time, especially in those sessions when I talk, is I start rendering too fast, and sometimes I just want to place some hard edges. This is not working. Some hard edges to help me with construction, and then you can come and like add details to it later on, like these this red right here, for example. Like it's not even on the reference, but I'm adding it to represent two things: subsurface scattering and structure of the face. Question from Sharon. Your smudge tool is the one with the circle, right? I never tried it. Yes, it's the one with the circle. Psych, would you mind if I shared your contact and channel with my friends from university? No, no. I don't think any content creator, artist would say no to this. By all means, share it with the entire world. I appreciate the love. So yeah, let's keep pushing this. I feel like I could add a little bit more roundness to these eyes. I'll take a new layer for that and put it to multiply. Yeah, for everybody joining, wondering why am I not painting hair yet, it's because I'm having a hard time painting and talking at the same time, but I like to do both. I will be getting on painting hair though within the next few minutes, I guess. Just trying to see where I'm going with this portrait first. Having the face established is just always a good help to know if the portrait is going into the right direction. Gives me the confidence to just continue. So yeah. Especially because this one doesn't have like hard edge shadow. Like when you have like a hard edge shadow reference picture, you can go like really like geometric from the get-go. Also, I feel like men's, you can go like real geometric from the get-go, and it really helps to build the portrait faster, in a way that I don't second guess every brush stroke. When it's a woman or even kids, like something a little bit more delicate, there's less like hard edge, and I don't know, it's got to be soft but have some structure, so I'm kind of get concentrated a little bit more. I feel like we need to mix in those two colors together and kind of, there's a bit of light here. Just a lot of subtlety on this portrait. So yeah. I was comparing in the tribe today and on Instagram afterwards. Painting hair has been a nightmare. Let me know if it's the case for you too. And I was saying that painting curly hair is like getting a haircut from Freddy Krueger. And if you don't know what Freddy Krueger is, he's a character of a horror movie franchise, I want to say from the 90s, 2000s. And the story goes where he would hunt kids mostly in their nightmare and kill them. It's a horror movie, so I don't really. It's not for kids. But that's who Freddy Krueger is. I'm gonna soften up these and probably put them a little bit more saturated. Dan, you know Freddy? Have you watched one of those movies? I only watched one, I think. I'm not a huge fan on horror movies. Except if it's like one of those like festivals where you have like everybody. Like I went there to once in Montreal. It was super fun. It was Fantasia Festival, I believe it was called. It's like a movie of like a festival of movies that are coming from like all sorts of different places in the world. A lot of it come from Asia. It's like here in Thailand and Sek, maybe you can confirm that, but I feel like Thai culture has some particular love for horror stories and horror movies. I feel like there's each time I go to the cinema, there's always like some sort of horror movie that is in one of the theater. But all that to say that I was in Montreal and I was going to that movie theater with a friend. And each time that, I don't know, someone would get killed or some splash of blood, people would like cheer in the theater. And so it makes the whole experience less scary and kind of like community-based fun party kind of thing. Like imagine like there's the guy that comes with a knife and he kills someone, everybody's like whoosh. It's like, it was kind of weird. But I enjoyed the experience and it was much less scary this way. And Sek, yes, Thai are more interested in horror movies. Yeah, that was my impression. I'm gonna have to fix those cheekbones. They're a little bit muddy. Let me just change the music first. Let's get back to jazz, shall we? Sharon, David, are you and your family up for a trip in New York City? Come and visit. Funny enough, we are going to visit some family in New Jersey, which is not so far. I don't know if we'll have the time to go to New York, but I would like that. But it's going to be much a family trip. My son, which is almost 9 months old now, will be its first trip. And I don't know if you guys are parent, but I'm assuming that traveling with a child is going to be challenging. And I wouldn't say I'm scared, because I'm not. But I know it's not going to be necessarily easy to go to New York City with the stroller and everything. But Yeah, I might go there. Also, Kotano, when are you painting the hair? Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm taking my sweet time on the portrait, right? Sorry, like I don't like to start the, because for me the hair has always been like a, I don't know, something you put as detail almost, and I want to do it in a very stylized way. So I'm more concerned about having just a correct portrait, but I know I'm taking my sweet time. I'm sorry. I'll try to speed things up. Suka Studio, haha, I don't like horror movie. I prefer anime and stuff. Yeah, anime is pretty cool. There's some cool anime horrors as well, I think. Studio Thailand. They work in US animation. Yes, I guess, yeah. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with the chat without saying what I'm reading. If you have the passion on drawing, you'll be fine on the travel. Yeah, hopefully, Adriana. We'll see about that, I guess. All right, let me reward your patience with adding some detail in the hair. So the way I'm going to approach this is you don't want to add details from the get-go, because otherwise you're going to lose yourself. And that's where like a lot of curly hair gets confusing, is because you're trying to paint like individual hair. All you have to remember is that you see mostly the detail in the highlights. And so I'm going to look at the reference picture for people on Instagram. Here's the reference picture. And I'm going to first try to have a feel for kind of like the different zone of shadows and whatnot. So let me first find this minus this equals this, and I'm going to create a new top layer with this. All right. So I think I'm going to start with like a soft round brush. And think about the general lighting, which is kind of like front row. Treat it as like a big balloon kind of thing, where you have, whoops. Why are you, wait. Let me just make sure that, whoopsie, what did I do there? Huh, oh, I see. Sorry, I gotta go back a few steps. Painted on the wrong layer. All right, that should do the trick. So yeah, so I want to think about it like as a big kind of balloony shape. First, adding occlusion shadows at some places on the corners here to create like volume. And then what I'll do is, I think I'm going to add layers upon layers of like big to small details. But honestly, like with a redhead, it would have been much easier with a black hair. But redhead is like all these like little different tones, so I don't know, we'll see. I might struggle with this one, which is fine. Just thinking how I'm going to approach that. I think I'll make sure to be on a new layer. I guess I'm going to do some tests. So here's how I'm thinking I'm going to do it. Every kind of strings of like hair, if you delete, maybe with a soft round brush, if you delete like both section like this, it makes it feels like it's catching up the light. And so the idea would be to do that first. Getting inspired, I'm not trying to copy the reference at this point, but just getting inspired from it. And this is going to give me like my first like volume of the haircut. And some would work, some won't work. I'm probably gonna work it from there. Because when you have like a hair that's so curly like this, your eyes, you cannot like see everything at the same time. So it's no point to add a ton of detail from the get-go. But I might just do like a zone of test here a little bit. I'm going to add a multiply with some more saturated tones, because you have a lot of these reds in that haircut as well. Maybe I'm gonna add it from the get-go now that I'm seeing it. A little bit of that red. It's almost like yellow on top. I might just yeah, some yellow like this maybe. We catch up with the chat real quick. Do you live in Manhattan, Sharon? That's got to be busy. And thanks for the subscription. Yeah, I visited New York like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in my life. I loved it, but it is definitely not the most friendly for family place. So the idea with these is, I had to try using Clip Studio Paint yet. Have you tried using Clip Studio Paint yet? Say TR1. I haven't. But someone was telling me that I can have it for 3 months for free before I can purchase it. I might try it. I might give myself a challenge at some point. And yeah, try it. I think this is the perfect moment to talk about trusting the process. You know, the difference between a professional artist sometimes and a beginner or someone that is not a professional is that, you know, that even though it doesn't look like it's supposed to look like right now I'm not really pleased with the hair or the portrait or anything really, but I know I'll figure it out. It's like a big puzzle that will unblock as I keep painting it. And this is why I truly think that the best thing you can do for your studies is getting classes, learning the process of other artists, learning some of it, leaving the rest, and slowly but surely getting better. That's really the only way. I still, like, I bought a class 2 days ago. I still take classes. I try to have a regular practice where I, practice small things. I don't just do big paintings. I don't just do professional work. And obviously this comes with like a privilege that I have of being a professional artist and spending a lot of time doing this. But no matter the amount of time you have, just trying to figure it out how you can incorporate these things into your own practice will help. And Sharon, you say I'm living in Manhattan, but at the least are not in the busy one. The busy are makes me nervous. Yeah, yeah, they are nervous. I'm currently living in the family area. Oh, that's great. To be honest, I didn't picture Manhattan with a lot of family area, but I guess they do exist. So when it comes to hair, do you always start with light and work your way dark? It depends on the hair. Like usually, I like to start with dark to light, which is what I'm doing here, by the way. Like what you're seeing me doing right now is I'm putting like some details, but these details are not as contrasty as they could be, because I believe I'll be adding quite a bit more down the line. And I'm going to I have a first pass of like this kind of like texture that I'm adding here that gives the illusion of volume. And then I'm probably going to add some more hue shifts to it, because there's a lot of small colors here and there that I can add. And then I'm going to come back and start adding details a little bit more. So it's like a step-by-step, layer after layer process. Right now I'm just creating like the base. I have a giant class included in the deal that I'm gonna have tomorrow. Tomorrow. About hair. There's like hours and hours of I show you how to do like the base of the hair, basically. Also, I'm going to be talking about that during the portrait workshop over the weekend, so there's going to be more. So now we have some volume. It doesn't look like much, but this is the base. And then I'm going to concentrate on like some of the areas that I feel should be like more saturated. I'm going to use an overlay layer for that. And yeah, try to add some more redness at some places, because I feel like it's missing some. Question, Sharon, can you explain about your process now with the hair stripes? Do you mean the detail I just put? I mean, it's exactly what I'm doing. I paint and I delete. I call it the paint and carve technique. I teach that in the Digital Paint Academy. These basic stripes, shapes, and how Do you know how to create them? Yeah, no, it's very simple what I've been doing here. It's I use a hard edge brush. I take some of the, like I take a color. It's very good for like adding highlights. I take a color and then I just paint. Whoops, Instagram's not seeing. I just paint these shapes, and then I use a saffron brush where I delete, and what you're left with is kind of like a highlight essentially. But before I go with this, now I'm going to add another step, which is the mixer brush tool. The mixer brush tool that you can also have into the brush kit. And for this one, I'm just going to paint in the direction of the hair. This is going to soften up a little bit the things. Eventually I'm going to like soften up the edges as well, but it's a detail phase and I'm not in the detail yet. I'm still building the form of the entire portrait, including the hair. So I'm just softening up things. You can also think about like adding more volume by just thinking about the hair into like a 3D form. But I'm kind of been treating this portrait very softly since the light has been very soft on it. But I really like the effect that it gives. I think before I push more the hair, I'm going to add some more details to the face. Just a little. I might also put these eyebrows line just more pale. I think I'm gonna soften them up. For the eyes, these days I don't like to add like, well, not these days, I think I never really liked it, to add like tiny details for the eyelashes. I kind of prefer to have lines like this. Maybe it's because I also like that kind of makeup when my wife does it. Oops. Maria, no, this is not Procreate. This is Photoshop. Although I'd be using Procreate the same way. All right. John, welcome back. Any tips for mixing pure blue and pure yellow to create green? The green gets really saturated. I mean, on a tablet, you have the control over like all your colors. So it's pretty rare that I mix on screen. I just take it directly from the color picker. So I don't have no precise tips about this. Oops. I think I can go back on my top layer now. Let's try to add some more details, shall we? So hair. This is the part where I need to start like adding a lot of details, and it's gonna take a lot of time to kind of add those. So I'm gonna try to not go into like tiny details. I'm gonna try like a section here first. Yeah. So the idea is to get the right color. Like the colors are not exactly the same right now. I feel like it's missing some saturation. I might just add another overlay layer and try to get the right color. I'll try to stay within the boundaries by selecting my hair, and yeah, I think the saturation is important here. Let's try to add that a little bit everywhere. Maybe that's too much though. It's a bit too much, but yeah, that's okay, I think. I'm going to take out some of it. I'm going to create a new layer. And I want to pick up some of those like dark places in the hair. So another way to approach hair is to think about like negative space, positive space. And there's like that dark spot for people on Instagram. There's that dark spot right here that I could try to kind of create, it's kind of like and you know what, I think I'm going to paint it. Dark red, and I might just add these little dark spots just in a few places. This is going to help also with the details. So I'm going to take a pass, I think, at it everywhere, and I'll be able to mix that afterwards. Because all I want is the illusion of form. I'm not trying to do like hyper realistic hair here. And having this will help with form. Yeah, already it adds so much like volume. Question, did you create the light with smudge? No, you create light by adding high values. Smudge tool is for edges. You're welcome, John. It's my pleasure to be here as well. I've really been enjoying these sessions, and someone was saying like you sound tired. It's not that I'm tired. I think I got, I guess, a different energy when I'm doing these chill sessions, because it's really more like me inviting you into my daily practice than me teaching or entertaining. That was never the goal, to become like an entertainer with these. I like to entertain. It's not that I don't like to entertain, but what I'm trying to do here is different. I wanted to have something that I'm able to do on a long run, that I can do every week, that doesn't require the same level of energy, and I really enjoy it. It gives me the possibility to paint, share a few tricks, connect with you guys, all that great stuff, and listen to some jazz at the same time. So it's pretty cool. So already we have some volume now, and it's not done yet. We have to add some more details afterwards and stuff, but I like to always try to keep both the portrait and the hair at the same level, and right now I feel like the portrait needs a touch of love, so I'm going to continue here on the portrait and try to work on those things. I feel also like the angle of the face is not correct, which it's probably not going to fix that now. I could try though, but I think it's too late. I think I'm already committed too much. Let's see if I can turn the nose a little bit. technically just have to just move the shadows and highlights and whatnot to give it the illusion a little bit that the nose is a little bit more of an angle. And there's that really nice patch of, it's more pink, but there's like a little bit of pink here. That's maybe too much, but yeah. Sharon, I will definitely show you how I do the light and the value. I'm just going to continue here first on pushing the portrait a little bit. So I feel like the angle of the jaw here is wrong. Needs to be pushed further away. And we have a little bit of a missing a shadow here. It's like when you have when you don't have like a very strong lighting, it's you just have to trust your knowledge of anatomy. I'll be talking about like the kind of anatomy cues I'm working on with my portrait during the workshop starting Saturday. So if that's something you want to learn, don't miss Saturday. And if you want to learn tricks about coloring, that's going to be all Sunday. So yeah. I'll push more of the portrait a little bit and we'll get back to the hair. It's definitely something with the eye. I'm so scared to flip it. I'm gonna have to liquify a little bit the eye later, but I guess it's gonna be fine for now. It's funny as you go when you're working on a portrait, like you see some stuff at the beginning and then as you continue you see other stuff, like the little slightly different values of the mouth here that I'm trying to get. they become clearer and clearer as you go. And it's just the things are just so subtle that if you're not careful with your value, you will go with like too dark values or too pale values and kind of destroy the shapes and forms that I've been trying to create this entire time. And I think it's something that I'm getting better at, but I feel like a lot of beginners, and when I was a beginner, certainly, I had a hard time seeing these. I still have a hard time seeing these, so they're just difficult to see at the beginning. Subtleties, which is one of the reasons why when I teach, one of the first things that I like to teach is how to observe. It's a skill. It's really a skill to observe your portrait, your reference, the life around you. Just, yeah, observational skills. A real live action April O'Neil. I don't know who that is, unfortunately. Is she like an actress? You know what she was making me think about a little bit is, and just a little bit, but a little bit of Sigourney Weaver. I don't know if I butchered her name, but in one of the Alien movies, I feel like she had like that haircut. So maybe a little bit of her. Let me know, guys, if you see it as well. And there's so many like small. I keep seeing different like value variation. Trying to place them all subtly, that's too much. Yeah, Ryan, flipping the image sometimes also helps a lot, yeah. Looks like the lady from Russian Doll. Okay. Okay. I think I saw the movie. Is that she was a spy turned rogue trying to reverse the I don't know if it was the KGB or something like that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. 100%. You're totally right. Yeah, now I'm seeing it. You're totally right. Yeah. Adrian, don't say a word. My haircut is like this. That's why I'm so interested in unlearning. It's a great haircut. No lie there. Oh, you're a redhead as well? There was a time a few years back when I would draw a lot of red hair. I really like the subtlety and the values and everything. Okay, so I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I think I can start detailing a little bit more. I might flatten the entire thing into a top layer. And the first thing I'm going to do is flip that thing, look at the eyes and stuff, which are not too bad, they're not perfect. And I'm gonna bring that to Liquify and try to fix a few things. I feel like the hair here could have a better shape. The eyes, this one is bigger than this one, and I feel like, I don't know if I bringing this one, pushing this one. One of the two needs to be modified to kind of match better. Could be a little larger, maybe. And overall, just a few difference. Sometimes I look at the reference when I do this, but sometimes I don't. Like right now, I'm not. I'm looking at the reference. You build, you know, a memory of portraits that you saw in your mind, and we grow preferences for shape design and whatnot. Flipping the preview. Rounding the shapes. And again, I'm a huge fan of saying aim for believability and not realism. Something with the eye here that bugs me though. I'm gonna flip it and look at my reference a little bit more. I think the shape is good though. It's not too far. That sounds a good idea. Blondish. Well, blondish would be the same thing. There's a lot of like reflection in it. It makes it harder to paint usually. Don't forget to show us how to create the value of the hair, please. The value of the hair. What do you mean by value of the hair? Because there's value everywhere. Just let me know. I'll be adding details later. Kind of like it already, just needs a lot more details in the hair and some crisper maybe details in the eyes. I think this is at the point where I'm going to start like designing reflections that are not necessarily there on the reference picture. And just kind of like having some fun with it. I struggle a lot with the eyes of my portrait. Yeah, eyes are tough because they have a few planes, 3 on the top, 2 at the bottom, and the way your irises points right, left, up, down will change the planes a little bit. So they're always hard, and I also struggle with them from time to time. They can't look cartoonish at times. Yeah, the value, the light, and the red comings from the hair. I see what you mean now. Yeah, I'll be able to show you some more of that in a minute. Let me try to just kind of finish this. Just a little bit of the. I want to add the right highlights and stuff. Little shadow. I'll see if I can add a highlight right away. And the hair to just kind of make them spark a little bit more. There's not much of a highlight in the reference picture, so I don't know if blue is the right color for this, but maybe a pale gray could do better. I think the pale gray would do better. Trying to add just a little bit more of that redness that you can find in folds of the eyes and stuff. I think today's session might be a little bit longer than my usual 2 hours if I want to be able to finish everything. And a bit quiet a little bit, sorry about that. Usually I like to tell stories, but I got concentrated, I guess. But if you have any more questions, let me know. I try to keep an eye on the chat, as you know. No. All right, maybe I'm ready for the detail in the hair. Show Liquify settings. Yeah, Danny, I can show you the Liquify settings in a second. effect, I'm going to put all of that together and go to my Liquify. There you go. Those are my Liquify settings. Density 75, pressure 31. All right, let's go in that hair. So Sharon, okay, I'm doing curly hair. To answer your question, free domain anime 84. But I haven't done the details yet. Which I'm about to start. So for the details in the hair, now it comes to the job of like less is more, I think. Where I don't want to, I'm going to do a test again here just to test a little bit, but what I would like to do eventually is just to, I want to add a little bit of details, not too much, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like lines essentially and kind of like do the same same technique I did at the beginning, but this time I'm looking to get a little bit more of these like different strings that goes into like a little bit more random direction. Like the first pass was to get a feel for it. Now I want to add a little bit more randomness, but not too much, otherwise it's going to look messy, and that's not the idea. What I want to do is to keep the same flow that I've created, but at the same time have these random, and I'm not going to add like details outside just yet. That's going to be like a last detail. So this is why I knew that this haircut would take a long time. Not that I have to go into like so many details, but at the same time it's just fun and good practice. And I can also use the same values that I have here to extend on what I already have here. Painting with those dark. And then, whoops. I mean, there's different value. I think it needs to be more saturated. And I'm using the saffron brush again still to delete. And it creates this this effect that it feels like it goes into the haircut kind of thing. Free domain 84. Am I doing light brown? No, this is a red head, but I understand your comment. It's not clear yet, I guess. I'll probably going to be able to modify the values slightly towards the end. Right now I'm more concentrated on getting the form and details. Evelyn, are you going to add a few loose curls at the end? Yes, that's gonna be the last step. I'm gonna add some, some more love to it. Like usually I don't go into like that much detail. I'm just like, because you guys are here, and I'm kind of like torturing myself a little here by adding more details than I actually usually do, but why not? Let's have some fun with it. Maybe that's too green. Catch up with the chat real quick. Ciao, Ryan, and thank you. Thank you for coming. Now I can practice with Jotaro. What is Jotaro? I don't know. Yeah, zooming in, zooming out, important here, because when I get too close, what I'm realizing is I'm just adding too many small details, really. They don't need to be that small. And I'm not striking to be like perfect here, but I'm gonna go for a finish is better than perfect today. Technically, usually I like to do the session in 2 hours. I want to have the time to finish in 2 hours, and I want to finish it on the live. So I'm gonna try to give myself a challenge to finish this in the next 30 minutes, which I believe is doable. You might see me talk less though. I'll be switching from like the mixer brush tool also to soften up some of the things that I do, and have that kind of mixture between soft edges and hard edges. And a big piece that's missing here is definitely the you know, the things I'm going to put at the end outside, because right now it looks a little flat, but it's just because the bulk of the haircut is contained into that shape. You see the red now? Yes, I guess when you zoom out a little bit. But I'll be able to push that more towards the end with adjustment layers and whatnot. Still want to add just the right amount of detail, which I think that's about right. I don't think I'll go more than this. It's going to be this, and then some details on the sides. And maybe some more highlights later on. Sue. He is a character from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime. He has curly hair. I see. I think I saw that. It rings a bell. But I don't remember now. Are you freestyling? No, I do have a reference picture with me. It's right here. If you come to Photoshop, you'll be able to. Sorry, if you come to YouTube, you'll be able to see the entire screen. On Instagram, I'm only able to show part of it. Although for the details like the haircut it's really just a inspiration reference at this point, because the volume is completely different. Now to save some time, I'm gonna try something here. You stick with me, let me know. But I don't want to have to paint details all day. I'm gonna see if I can take this section right here, copy it, flip it, and just bring it here. And I think that works. I think that works. I might have to just change it a slightly bit so it doesn't look like the same. To curly hair tutorial out there. There are way too few curly hair. Yeah, I know. I know, you're right, Evelyn. So yeah, I'm going to delete a little bit. But I think that trick that I just did is it's going just fine. Now all I have to do is to kind of paint a few more details, I guess, but I think I just saved myself a good 15 minutes. Yeah, and I actually did a tutorial about curly hair to show the basic of the technique, and it's in the Digital Painting Academy, or you can get it also when you get the Portrait Artist Bundle, which will be at 75% off starting tomorrow, FYI. I'm doing the sale to celebrate the portrait workshop that we're having over the weekend. Take the line up off. Are you talking about this? I will definitely clean the edges later. I'm putting more details on this that I usually like to do for the Daily 5 for sure. If you guys are participating, the idea of the Daily 5 is really to go with the saying, finish is better than perfect, and to focus on daily practices, no matter the amount of time that you have, to kind of help you to progress faster. The line up in the forehead. Oh, you mean this? I leave it there right now because I know I'm gonna have to rework the edges. So it's not bothering me for now. It will in a second though. Something more saturated here. All right. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. We went from there to there, there to there. All right. I'm going to attack the sides now. So the idea for the side is you have to remember that hair is more soft than hard. Right now I got a really, really hard shape. But especially on my reference, and for the people on Instagram, that's the reference again, there is a lot of, not transparency, but see-through the edges. The background sees through. What I've been liking to do usually is to use the saffron brush to kind of just like soften it up. But I've been having a lot of fun doing like just a kind of a paler value on the side. I might do a bit of both today. What jazz music are you listening to? To make sure that YouTube doesn't flag me, I'm listening to Epidemic Sound. It's a music provider for content creators. I made a playlist on it. So that's what we're listening to. How do you choose the value for the shadow, like under the chin? This has been a little bit like a test. Let me run you through the logic here, because the lighting has to do with, or the shadows has to do with the lighting and the ambient light. Right now we have a very soft ambient light on this portrait, which means that there's no hard shadows. It's like a mix of a lot of things. So when it comes to that, I just like to have a slightly more saturated, darker value of the skin, and it works pretty well. I mix a little bit of red in there to add some subsurface scattering, but these are all things that you don't necessarily see on the reference picture a lot. Like, you know, like it's more softness, and I add them more for like a style, I'd say. And so Freedom and Anime 84 it depends on the lighting. Yes, that's 100% correct. Let's add a little bit more details to the face before I attack the hair edges. I feel like I could also have, whoops, just a little bit of gray here. I could push maybe the value here a little bit, slightly. Pushing stuff. Like I'm gonna put like some highlights on the lips here with some white, but there's no white on the reference picture. This is at this point just stylization. A lot of zoom in, zoom out. Can also look in my other screen, but the idea is just to have a smaller version and a bigger version to help you. Because I'm working on detail here, but if I modify the shapes too much, I'm going to lose the shape. Really, I was looking for another word, but likability? No, it's another word. Something to describe that it looks like the person that it's supposed to look like, essentially. So this is why like zooming in, zooming out helps a lot, because you can focus on different things when you zoom out. There's no like hard shape here on the reference picture, but I feel like it could help a little bit maybe. Maybe a little bit. Alright, we're gonna attack the hair in a second. Alright, let's attack the edge of the hair. So for the edge of the hair, like I was saying, the mixer brush tool works really great for this. Where I could just kind of like come in and just even just kind of soften up certain edges like this. I think that definitely works. But I've been having a good time with mixing up the values instead and coming up with a hard edge like this, and it creates like a sorry, Instagram doesn't see. It creates like a like a small gradient of like two values essentially, which helps. And then you can take that to create some little locks of hair and stuff. The cool thing about art is that you can make it your own. That's 100% true again. Also, cool thing about learning digital art is there's always 1.5 million ways to do the same thing. Like there's 1 million ways to do a hair, or 5 ways or whatever. But there's definitely many ways. So you can experiment and find your own rhythm and enjoy the process. Sorry, Instagram, you still don't see anything when I'm doing this. It's hard to work in the middle of the screen and not work in the middle of the screen at the same time. So yeah, I'm going to try to add a little bit of these random hair on the sides now that will come and help. I'll do the same thing on the face afterwards, and I'll be able to take care of that for you, free domain, in a second. In the meantime, yeah, I'm hoping to see you guys on Saturday for the workshop about portraiture, where I'll definitely be talking more about concrete ways to do certain things. Talk about brushes for the beginners out there, because if you talk to professional artists, they will tell you brushes don't matter, and that's half the story. They don't matter for as long as you know what to do. But if you're a beginner, brushes can definitely help you to get certain things done faster and more efficient ways. So I'll be talking about some of the best brushes that I've been using for my sketches and for my renderings. We'll talk about some techniques such as the Azaro. Well, Azaro Red is not a technique, but the Loomis method and the Azaro head and the Righty method. So I'm hoping to see you guys there. The workshop is free, and it will come over the weekend. It should be about an hour each session, so an hour on Saturday, an hour on Sunday. And so yeah, I don't get the comment. It's outside again. What's outside? And thank you so much, Art Afsh, for the compliment. I also pretty like the results so far. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's what you meant. Thanks. Yeah, sorry. Especially when I'm working on detail and I lose myself. It's the one thing when you're doing like streams like this, I'm keeping track of like the chat on YouTube, the chat on Instagram. I gotta concentrate on my painting. It's definitely new skills that are not all easy to learn. Not really complaining here, just talking about the struggle. You're gonna follow for the end. Sounds good. Now it's the, I don't think there's hair that comes there on the face actually, but it's the subtle art of like adding the right details at the right places on the face, because I don't want it to look out of place. Yeah. Thank you, Evelyn. I'm pretty happy with it as well. Curly hair takes a long time though. That's one thing for sure. I mean, the idea also is like if you're doing curly hair, like I'm showing you, like I wanted to show you guys like the extent of like how far you can go with it, but you don't have to go into so much details if you don't want to, or you could just like add a few details at a certain places, like key places, to kind of give the illusion of details, and then that's enough. Like I did with this portrait, for example, for you guys on Instagram. Like I only put like a few strokes. That being said, dark hair, black hair is so much easier because all you have to do is to put the highlights. When it comes to something that it's blonde or red, you have to put more depth into it and all the different like the different hue shifts to make it work. But I think I'm about to, whoops, sorry guys. I'm going to just kind of like play a little bit more with the shapes here. I like this effect as well of like using a hard edge brush and kind of like just kind of having like almost like a shape into it. My wife has curly hair. For me to draw a pencil, it's a very hard time. Yeah, especially if you're doing pencil. Like drawing is definitely harder for me than rendering for some reason. Let's add some light on that thing. For those of you that are with me right now, let me know if you have other artists that you follow that do lives. Because as I've been doing that for just a few weeks now, I'm realizing that it'd be to my advantage to kind of look at other artists that does it, learn from what they do, getting better at telling stories maybe, or communicating, or just general knowledge really. So if you'd be so kind to share with me the artist in the chat that you like to go listen to either on YouTube or on Twitch, I'll go check them out. I think I'm pretty happy with this. All right, Sharon. I don't know if you're still with me. Let me know. But here's the part that you were craving. Sorry for the long wait. I'm going to take a saffron brush. I'm going to put it to either color dodge or overlay. I'm going to try with overlay first. And then you want to play with the colors and see what works. And this is going to add automatically a lot of brilliance to the hair and play with the colors and value at the same time. So you don't want to add too much of it, but a little bit can really help. And that's it. That's the main trick. I think I'm going to see if I can. No, I think I'm going to keep it hard edges. So yeah, curly hair, guys. That took forever. But it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I think at this point I've been doing so many details that I just don't feel like stopping at this point, but I'm probably going to stop in the next couple of minutes or so. But I could stack more details on this and decide like to attract the eyes of the viewer to other places by adding some more highlights. It looks like Rogue X-Men. Yeah, a little bit. Agreed. Yeah. You know, I wanted to add like more of that shape, and I don't know. I feel like it's too blended, but it's because also there's no hard shadow on that portrait, which makes it harder for me to design hard shapes. It's not working. Even that, it's just like, I don't know if I can redo it. I don't know. That's not necessarily better. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Free Doming. The chin shadow. Yeah, maybe it's a bit dark here. Could be chiller, I guess. Maybe thicker. Maybe. I could decide to stylize some brighter highlights on the lips. You know what? Maybe not. Maybe different value, just a little bit. So another thing that I like to stylize sometimes is just to add lines. Let's see if I'm able to do this for this one. Do that on an extra layer. But that could be a good way for me to just feel like portrait needs something more that I don't have right now. I don't want to change it too much, but just being able to add a little bit of je ne sais quoi to it would be nice. Sorry guys. Keep painting outside the frame. Gotta be careful, otherwise I'm gonna change also the construction of the values that's already there, which ultimately I don't want to do. Meh. Maybe add the curved golden blonde line in the eye. Like you mean here kind of thing? Yeah, maybe. Although I think my proportions are not exactly like the reference picture, and I think I would have to paint more hair to be able to bring it down there. So maybe not. Yeah, no. But good suggestion, thanks. Now I think I'm gonna call it a day. We just reached the half an hour extra that I wanted to put on this. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Next time I talk to you, it's going to be on Saturday. We'll start with sketching. I'll give you a bunch of tips. I'll send an email to everybody. It's on the newsletter list. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, you can go on the newsletter list by doing two things. You can download any brushes that I have. There's links in the description of this video replay if it's a replay, or right now if you are live with me. And I'll be sending an email to everybody to remind you of the place. You can also go check on YouTube right now and check for the 27th. You'll see it's a sketch portrait, the cover. You can click the button notify. This is going to make sure that you get notified when I go live. And so yeah, that's Saturday, and then Sunday I'll talk about coloring, and I'll try to give guys useful tips, actionable tips that you can do. So today was very much me and going into my own pace, but for Saturday and Sunday I want to be a little bit more structured and teach and give you exactly the steps that you need to do to be able to push your own portraits. We'll also have a very, very nice deal, 75% off on the portrait artist bundle for those interested. I'll give more details in the email. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I'm glad that you guys learned a lot. Evelyn, free domain. Have a good day for me, but night for you, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one. Happy painting.